Hey everyone! In this video we'll be talking about doing a polar alignment in a situation where you don't have a line of sight to the northern or southern celestial pole. Now, before I show you how to do this in EKOS, I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the best practices you can follow when you're setting up your kit. And basically you can follow these tips with any form of polar alignment, even if you can see Polaris. But I still think these are especially important if you don't have a clear view of the northern or southern pole. So I like to set up my kit when there is still enough daylight. Then I take a compass and I make sure to align my tripod to the north. Now I make sure to keep enough distance between my compass and the tripod, because I've noticed that there's a lot of magnetic interference when you hold the compass too close to your mount. I happen to own a compass with a sight, which allows me to keep my distance and align the center bar of the tripod. Here you can see my tripod has this center bar, and I align it to the northern leg of my tripod. And I make sure both of them are aligned to the north on my compass. And really, you don't have to be super accurate in this stage. The fine adjustment that will happen later in the polar alignment process. However, I did notice that when I am accurate in this stage, the azimuth error in my initial polar alignment is already within the acceptable margin of error. Once you've done that, be sure to check if you have set your altitude right. In my case, that should be 52 degrees. And you're all set. Now, if you, like me, regularly image from the same position, it could be easy to make some kind of permanent platform. Here you can see how I have placed a couple of brackets on some poles in my lawn, and these brackets are leveled off. So basically all I have to do is put my tripod in these brackets and it is immediately level and pretty much always pointing north. So once you've done that, all you have to do is wait for it to get dark, and then we can use EKOS to do the rest of the polar alignment procedure. Okay, and we're back in EKOS. Just let me start up this session real quick. So this is not a simulator, but this is a real night outside, and I purposefully misaligned my mount for this polar alignment test. And as a force of habit, I always check that all my devices have connected properly without any errors. And so as you can see, my mount is now pointing towards the northern celestial pole. Let me first unpark it here. And for this procedure to work, I will need to set the parking position to a place in the sky that I can actually see. So you navigate to the place you want to use as a reference. For example, let me use one of these twins here. Yeah. I think I'll use Castor. So I'll tell my mount to go to Castor and select go to and set as parking position. And that's it. You need to make this reference star your new parking position. And at this point, let's just wait until my mount arrives at this location. And there it is, or at least it thinks it is. As you've seen, I didn't do any plate solving so far, so the actual position is probably somewhere in the neighborhood, but probably not here. And now I can just use the normal polar alignment assistant. I'll use it with the default settings, although depending on how far away you are from the pole, the default 30 degrees might cause you some problems. In my case, 30 degrees will probably get me in trouble with some of the trees, but let's wait and see. Also, if you've never worked with the Polar Alignment Assistant before, you can check out the video I've already made about it. I'll link to it in the description below. So it's taking the first image right now, and it found the location. And as you can see, it's quite far away from where my mount thought it was pointing. and it's capturing the second image, solving it, rotating for the second time now. Now this time we will probably see some tree branches or something, because another 30 degrees will probably hit one of the trees on my horizon, I guess. But let's just see how it goes. And it's taking the third image. Yeah, you can see there's definitely some interference here, but I can also see some stars. And apparently it's enough. And here you can see the results. I have a pretty big misalignment. And now it's just a matter of finding the right star to select for the alignment. And if you select one of these over here, you can see that you don't have enough space. Just look for a star where you do have enough room around to navigate. One of these stars will do fine. Now, let me just zoom in a little bit. And I can start the alignment process. I'll start refreshing now. By the way, at the time of this recording, I'm having some network problems. So unfortunately, the refreshing will take a lot longer than it's supposed to. So I will fast forward a little bit in the editing. You can see it took a while, but now it recognized my alignment star and it has circled it with the yellow circle. And that's good because it's quite a small star. And I think the lines are actually thicker than the star itself. No. Now I'll start adjusting the altitude knobs to move the star over the yellow line. Yeah, and as you can see, it takes quite a time for the image to refresh. And especially for the guide star to be circled by the yellow circle. But with a little bit of patience, we'll get there. So now we're almost at the point where the altitude is good. And we can start adjusting the azimuth knobs on my mount. And by doing that, we start moving my alignment star over the green line. Yeah, so now I made quite a big adjustment here. And as you can see, the adjustment was so big that EKOS didn't find my reference star. And it's unable to circle it. So I guess I'll point it out here in the editing on screen, and I have to do the rest of the alignment with my own eyes. And the good thing is that I know that it can only be in line with the green line here, either underneath the green line or in extension to it. And we're now coming up to the target. And so I'm zooming in a little bit, making sure that we get nice and accurate. Nice. So I guess we're done. So let me park my mount and let's do a quick double check. I park my mount, and as you can see, I'm now moving, it's now moving back to caster, because that's what we set as our parking position. And let's unpark and do another polar alignment session. And let's just see what it comes up with. And there it is. We have a total misalignment of about 2 arc minutes. Only 11 seconds in azimuth and about 2 minutes in altitude. And that is absolutely within the acceptable polar alignment error. For my setup at least. And we did all of that without being able to see the northern celestial pole. And with that, we have come to the end of this video. Thank you all so much for all the support, really. All of your messages mean a great deal to me. I think it's amazing that we've reached over 300 subscribers with only 5 videos on the channel. And I've been getting messages that really motivate me to do a lot more with this channel. And I'm sorry that I haven't been so consistent with posting new videos over the past 2 months. I kinda underestimated how much time this YouTube thing really costs, and it's not always easy to combine it with a full-time job and, well, life. But I want you to know that I'm still very much committed to creating high-quality videos for the K-Stars community. And I have a couple of nice ones in the works. So for now, if you found this video useful, please consider giving it a thumbs up and feel free to leave your comments in the comments. And with that, I hope to see you later.